Oh, welcome into the So Rare in the States Road to Glory, episode 5 or something like that. Whatever. It is a cup night. All right. The NBA Emirates Cup. You can win cash in common. You can win cash in limiteds. If you're rare and super rare, well, you're probably already winning cash anyway, but you can win some more tonight during the NBA Cup. It is almost over, halfway through the group stages. We got Orange Fly, the NBA underdog champ. We have ZM star Zach, the man with the plan, and Alex. His lineups are definitely okay. You can just see it on his face. We are vibing. We are here. We're gonna look at the slate. We're gonna do all these fun things. We're gonna look. We're gonna look at some common teams so we can build. See if we can build ourselves into some cash money. Are you guys excited? First of all, let's take it to Bob. Bob, you just won again. Like you just can't stop winning. This man, no matter
Yeah.
what, this dude doesn't even need all 5 players. Because guess what?
No,
4 players are enough for Bob to win a
DMP'd it.
freaking podium. So let's talk about that real quick.
Hey, man, listen, you know that I came in wanting to play champion and make some money. And like everything's been good. Like collection score bonuses have helped a ton, boosting up champion. But evidently, underdog is where I'm best. You know, there's a lot of crappy guys out there, and they score points occasionally. And it's pretty fantastic. And I've hit it right on the head a couple times this year. We got off to another good start yesterday, take advantage of the fact that Luka Doncic is out and everybody else on the team has to score points somewhere. So yeah, man, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. I mean, like,
Yeah.
underdogs, I considered it this week because I have like 3 contender lineups and all of them have like a low cap guy in it. So I thought, mix them all up, put them all in the same lineup. I didn't do that. Yeah, but I'm glad that you were able to capitalize on that. I was looking at a lot of those Dallas guys. I picked up who did I pick up? I picked up a Hardy, but I think I ended up selling him anyway. But yeah, those guys are very good this year.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just like someone has to score. And like, and if you look at last week when I won, I focused on the Spurs because Wemby was out, right? So Harrison Barnes like stepped up and went absolutely wild. So he did great. The week before, the other week that I won, Stephen Castle on the Spurs again went nuts, and things just kind of like got big. And like you need a couple guys to really blow up and do well. And as far as that has gone, I've been pretty fortunate, and I've been looking for those really low, like sub 10 cap kind of guys on teams where the studs are out. And then from there, you got to figure out like if they're going to get some more time and who's going to get the ball. And honestly, I usually like going for a team like the Mavs always works because guys like Jalen Hardy, Quentin Grimes, Spencer Dinwiddie, they can all put up a ton of points and a ton of assists and pieces like that to make them really good players given the time, right? And we've seen over the last couple of years that Spencer Dinwiddie, especially for like the Nets and the other teams that he's been on, has been able to rack up some really great scores. So that's kind of where I go. And then I usually try to load up like one decent player. Like this week, Alex, my big player that I have in my underdog team is Miles Turner. And I need him to actually step up and have a Miles Turner type game, not like a 30, 33 point game, but have one of his like 7 blocks, 50, 55 type games that we have there. So it looks like Jorge's internet has died.
Yeah.
Just like his chances of winning the Emirates Cup. So it's all good.
Yeah, I don't know when Jorge's going to come back, but obviously we got to show up. Thank you for coming in, per usual. But yeah, I mean, underdogs worked so well for you. I haven't really dabbled with it. Zach, are you still sticking with champion and a little bit of
contender? I just don't have the gallery right now to kind of. I can jump to contender with one lineup usually a week, but underdog right now is just a little too far out of the range because I'd have to buy more guys than I probably want to. While I still get champion online, like I'm still trying to get champion online to feel a little bit stronger. So the dog is just not in me at this moment.
So, Zach, did you say? Sorry, Alex. Did you say that you play some contender a little bit? Yeah. Okay. So, like, what I did, and this is a kind of like a strategy thing, is I did not join contender until this week when money actually got into the tournaments. I have only focused on champion and underdog. Completely skipped contender.
So with contender, I am actually running in classic, but my in-season guys with their bonuses because I feel better getting a card until money now came into the mix. I was running to get cards until they were like, well, we're going to throw money in. So now I'm like, all right, now I'm a little more interested in the original in-season version. But I figured taking in-season guys and running them in Classic with 7, 8, 9% on them was a much better strategy than just having guys for the daily sometimes. Like, it's a really tough balance where do I want to keep all these guys for the daily every day or try to put out a lineup I think can win something.
Yeah. And I can tell you that the bonuses obviously matter. I talk about collection score and bonuses all the time. But as Jorge said at the start, I had a guy that just DMP'd. He didn't play. Like he got hurt or whatever, didn't even play, and I still won. And the big part of that was I won by less than 5 points, right? And that came because I had Spurs and Mavericks on my team. And my Mavericks cards are at like 12% bonus already. My Spurs are at 11%. So it doesn't sound like a lot, but those bumps actually got me up to another win. So like these things do matter, especially when the scores aren't nearly as high either. And so it's one of the things that I like about Underdog because you have one guy blow up and you have an actual chance to win these.
No, I mean I would say the bonuses matter because when I'm looking at my dailies and I'm like, Kyrie put up 43, but I click on, I like to click inside the game and it's like, oh, he only had 39.2. But he's getting that 43 and I'm like, that makes a big difference if he really goes off because that like turns that 70, 80 number much higher. So I really actually look at how the bonuses are within each guy when I check to see like what's going on. So it definitely matters.
And this is why we talked about weeks at the start of the season. That my whole focus for this season was Mavs, Spurs, and OKC Thunder. And the reason I went after them is they have the studs, but they have the backup pieces that can actually like be played with them and the bench guys. So when they come in, they can blow up, right? So when a guy like Wemby goes down, Zach Collins at a cap of like 14 comes in and scores 40. Those are the kind of guys that you're always looking for. And when I focused on those teams, it was knowing that should Shea goes SGA go down, then Cason Wallace or somebody like that, Caruso, can all of a sudden go from a 18 average to scoring 55 on an everyday type basis. And I know we mentioned this in shows before, but a few years back, this is exactly what kicked Jalen Brunson into the stratosphere because Luka got hurt. Jalen Brunson was his backup with a very low L10 and came in and just started smashing. And now he's starting point guard, all-star, like great player. So like these guys have all of the skill sets. They need the time. And so that's why I focused those teams. And it's kind of interesting as we go forward.
Yeah, Mike, I had to pay the troll. I had to pay the troll to get across the bridge to plug in my Ethernet back.
Can we just pour one out for Elfrid Payton not having a card and dropping 21 dimes in his first game? No card on the platform, dropping 21 dimes.
I think he scored like 60 Sorare points or something like that. And saying insane stuff. No, and Bob brings up a really good point. I kind of like, as Bob goes on one of his wonderful tangents, that he was kind of saying that like on top of buying the collection, like you targeted those teams very early on, but something that like kind of goes under the radar is because you already had them. Not only do you have that extra XP on them that other people don't, but you're not chasing them in the market either. So you're not paying these premium prices last minute when Wemby goes down and everybody starts scooping the floor. You're already sitting pretty, baby. You're already cuddled up, snuggled up in a blanket going, oh, Zach Collins? Yes. Like, you ain't got to worry about nothing.
With 12% on him, ready to roll.
Yeah. And those are the things that matter. And it's just like, this is the whole strategy. And I got it, again, I've shouted him out before, but Link 808, he and I played on the MLB side together, and he basically followed. He asked me what I was going to do if I was going to use my baseball strategy of building up collection scores in full teams. I said, yes. He's done the same thing, and he's had at least 3 podiums that I know of, but he's always at the top. So, like, there are definite ways to go about doing this, and you could tell from what I'm talking about. I obviously focus on Champ, where the most money comes from on the in-season side. But because of my strategy, it gives me strong underdog teams. I didn't recognize how strong those would actually be, Jorge, when I started the season. Like, I never, for the life of me, thought that I would win an underdog tournament in Sorare. But as it turns out, I am a lot more, my gallery is much more built to do so now in basketball than in any other sport that I've been in.
Right. Because you have the first guy off the bench, the second guy off the bench. The guys that their cap stays relatively low, and on those nights where they pop off, they're already staying there pretty on that 12%.
Yep. Exactly.
No,
Exactly.
I love that. Congratulations, Bob, being a serial winner. ZM star at the beginning of the road to glory in football immediately hit the podium. Me and Alex are just sitting here twiddling our thumbs, I guess.
No, not
Dude,
immediately. That was after a lot of work and getting into Bundesliga before I hit podium.
We're too busy doing the content to put in good liners or something like that. I don't know what it is. But yeah, we got a little bit of time. We got like what, 40-ish minutes before lock tonight, before this competition kicks off, and we can win some cash money. So let's look at the matchups. Let's see what we got going on, and then we'll dig in and check out some of these L10s and see what some of these sneaky cap plays. I have one. I don't know if y'all are gonna like it, but I have one, and then we'll see if there's any value for tonight. Alex,
Yes.
do you want to kind of kick us off, go through these matchups, and kind of bring up the odds that we have going on for tonight?
Yeah, so there's like I love looking at this sort of stuff because all these games in this in-season tournament are closer than any other game that they would regularly play. Obviously, with the cup, it gives teams a little bit more reason to play, and you can also tell because they keep their players in longer for the point differential. So the spreads are a lot closer. But yeah, so I have this pulled up here. So we'll start off Chicago versus Washington. This will be an interesting one. They have the line at 5.5, with Chicago being favored. And I think Chicago wins this. Washington has been poor. They did just get Kyle Kuzma back though. So that'll be interesting enough to see. But yeah, Chicago's favored by 5.5. The runner's at 243.5, which is a lot of points. So we'll see how that goes.
So Alex, you mentioned Kyle Kuzma. He's just been obviously hurt and a little off this year, but he's been bad. Like he has been the Kyle Kuzma that we're more used to, not the high upside Kyle Kuzma. He has been the dumpster fire Kyle Kuzma that gets pushed around the league constantly so far. So like, what about Kyle Kuzma being back gets you excited about using him? Because I see him being projected really high this week.
I think it's just the factor of they haven't been scoring as many points, and he's supposed to be their top scorer. And so in moments like this, they need him to step up. He'll get more minutes because of it being an in-season tournament. And so that's why the projections have probably been pretty high.
Do you know if Jordan Poole is healthy? Because I feel like he takes a lot
got
as
ruled
well, right?
out.
Did he get ruled out?
I believe he did get
ruled
out.
So.
So that means it is a Kyle Kuzma and like Bilal Coulibaly kind of game, right? Like Sar, like those are the guys that you're kind of expecting to beat their caps, right?
I had Coulibaly in my original build.
I'm playing.
I got to start over.
Spoiler: I'm playing the Kuz, and I'll tell you why. So if anybody's ever played traditional fantasy basketball, like Yahoo, ESPN, that kind of thing, a dude like Kuzma is a killer. He shoots terribly. He chucks a lot. He just kills fantasy. In Sorare, you're not penalized for chucking, which is like one of the BCMs in the football side of things kill you. There is no BCM in the basketball in the world. Like a dude who puts up 40 shots and shoots 20%, who cares? Because eventually he'll pop off and he'll put up a big score for you. And that's what Kuzma is. That's what the guy actually is as far as an NBA player goes. So I'm running a Kuz.
I will say he was also in my build before the show for tonight.
Yeah, I had my build in before the show, so we will. It's mostly chalk for anybody who has projections, but just because there was some good value there.
So, Zach, I like that talk about like the real life fantasy, like the real life game, like fantasy, and like why he's bad with a horrible field goal percentage. But in the world of Sorare, you just need that one peak game. And Kyle Kuzma is the guy that has a manageable cap score that can blow up and hit 65 or 70 Sorare points because he just catches fire one night. So he's the kind of ideal single game kind of play that can win a daily Emirates Cup tournament like this, right?
But you also wouldn't be surprised if you woke up the next morning and you saw -3 as his score because he had 17 turnovers. Like that is also possible from him. And you're just like, yeah, I could see that happening.
Yep. We got Huffman going Lillard, Beal, and Randall. I consider Randall too. I'm just looking right now. So Bradley Beal's cap is at 32.
I love his cap. I love his cap. Not for tonight. Not for tonight. I mean, like in a game week play, coming back from injury. I like his cap because you can squeeze him in with probably 2 stars and still have a good lineup. But I don't like him for tonight.
Well, let me ask you this, guys, because we just got a notification that Giannis is now questionable for tonight,
I just
and
saw that.
the game is in about an hour. So if Giannis is out, like, is it Portis? Is it Lillard? Like, is it Brook Lopez? Who gets a little bit of a bump?
Portis,
Who-
for sure.
Portis
Bobby
gets
Portis.
him up. Yeah.
Sure.
And is Bobby Portis worth using? Because I feel like he's got a decently high cap score. He's got a 28 cap score. So I mean,
Ooh,
I would
20
rather
is
use
high.
I would rather use a guy like, Giddey or Koulibaly in that spot, wouldn't you?
Yes. 28's a little high for Portis
Mhm.
for my liking. Again, for my liking. Yeah, like, he'll do some dirty work for you, but he's not consistent enough offensively. The boards will probably be there. He's just not a great shooter. So, like the 28 is probably what he ends up with. And I just don't feel like you want a guy 28 who gets you 28.
If I remember though, the last time that Giannis was out, Portis popped off. Like,
Did he?
and thanks to So Rare Data, I can't go back and check that because the scores were gone. Thank
was a
you, not very much.
It was a 50 plus. I think it might have been 60.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because that was the one. Because that was the same time that I was like, wait, why don't I own a Bobby Portis? I specifically remember getting massive Bobby Portis FOMO and Bob having to walk me off that ledge. So,
So basically, if
remember.
Giannis is out, it's Bobby Portis is the guy that steps in that can pop and would need to pop for Milwaukee. But that also, Giannis being out essentially drops you down of MVP contenders that you could use in the tournament too, because the most realistic MVP contenders on the common side without Giannis are Wemby and Anthony Davis. So are you guys going along those lines? Like, who do you replace Giannis as an MVP?
So I have both of those guys in my lineup.
Mhm.
And if I had to pick one, I think I would pick, if I'm looking at the schedule, I think I'd pick AD slightly ahead of Wemby. It's just, he just gives a little, I mean, the dude scores. He puts up nice silver scores. It's just sometimes I feel like there's an unknown there with him. And I feel much more comfortable. Again, we're playing for one night only. Like AD feels like a guy who I trust just a little bit more.
Okay.
And that's just like, again, personal preference. Like you can look at all the metrics yourself. And sometimes you just have to like trust like who's a guy that you think could carry the night,
No, I'm kind of looking at that top list of MVPs right now. So yeah, you have Giannis, which is now questionable. You have Wemby, you have Anthony Davis, LeBron, who's kind of like slowed down a little bit. Old man's getting a little tired.
Yep.
Bam Adebayo, you never feel good about that. Anthony Edwards doesn't have the peak. He has that nice little floor though. He has a high floor. It doesn't have those peaks though. Kevin
I'm really
Durant.
surprised. Yeah, Edwards just does not get there. I thought he'd get there. Just like he's more like an eye test guy. Like when I watch him play, I'm like, the dude is awesome, but he just can't get there. So rare wise.
Yeah, these 50s are nice, man, but we need some 70s, 80s in there. But
yeah,
that floor is a little nice though. Not for 45 though.
And that's
Kevin
the thing.
Durant coming back.
So I feel like because if you go from Jorge, a Giannis captain, right, a Giannis MVP, and you drop to an Anthony Davis, you're now you're creating a lot of open cap space in here too. Like Zach, I think that you said you had both of them in your lineup or something like that. Like if you have Anthony Davis and Giannis in your lineup, now your MVP went from being a 59 to a 54, and you've got 5 extra points to play with, which really starts mixing up what you can do. And it's based on, it's not even 5 extra points, because then you replace, say you replace Giannis with, I don't know, LeBron, who's at 50 versus the 59 that Giannis is at. So now you're actually opening up a lot more points that you can actually use within the game itself. So now, like, do you go Bobby Portis and Brook Lopez, and both of them, get 45 to 55 points? Like, is that a winning formula for here? Because what we've seen is that you need a minimum of 270 if you even want to start sniffing around a podium. And like, and who are
Yeah.
the low guys that will go with it that can actually do that? Because I don't think they really exist.
Yeah,
I mean,
you just have to catch the
Laurie
guy, right?
Markkinen at 33, man. Markkinen's back from injury. He's peaking. I think
Don't
like
leak my.
Oh, dude, I'm sorry, dude. Ah, dang it. Not dude, Laurie Markkinen sucks, bro. Don't go get him. I do want to shout out Bouncy over here for buying his first in-season squad today.
Oh,
Hey,
that's what's up, man.
if you buy it today, you get extra raffle tickets. You might get to go to the final in
Go to Vegas.
Las Vegas. But the four of us are going to win it before you. But hey, you still have the chance. You have the chance. So there's that. There's that.
Yeah, the
Mike,
chance
you
comes.
can't see the scores on their Sorare player page, but like you can't actually click into the game and see like who played, who else was in that game, like who got the minutes. Like it's they're working on it. They're working on it, but it's not quite there yet. Dang it, Sorare data. Hate it. But Alex, you want to run through the rest of the lines for tonight real quick, and then we'll keep scouting because we need to know who these people are playing, man. We need to know where these people are going.
Let's go to the bigger game of tonight. Besides the Lakers, it's Bucks Heat. Maybe Giannis. No Middleton, but they announced he'll be back after Thanksgiving, which is cool.
Yep.
And yeah, everybody else should be good to go. Obviously, so a lot of these guys, maybe Taurean Prince being the only one that could have some silver value. But yeah, they have it at 3.5 for Miami. I assume that that bumped up because of Giannis being having the Q tag, and it's also in Miami. But yeah, this game seems like if it's going to depend on whether Giannis plays or not to determine who's going to win. So I think if you're betting, probably Milwaukee plus 3.5 is probably pretty nice. But yeah, this will be probably the second best game to watch for tonight.
I do also want to say though, off the back of that, is that Milwaukee undefeated in these standings right here. Miami 1-1, so Miami really needs to win this game too. So Jimmy Butler, as much as I don't want to trust him after 2 good games, I'm just not ready to be hurt by Jimmy Butler. The Miami Heat really need to win this game. So maybe we get a NBA Cup Jimmy, not playoff Jimmy, NBA Cup Jimmy.
No, dude, like don't leak my line. You said you wouldn't.
So, Jorge, Alex, Zach, like, let's say Giannis is out. Does that mean the BAM gets a little bit of an uptick too, without Giannis being there in the middle to hog up boards or blocks?
I think Brooke Lopez bullies the crap out of him, to be honest.
Yeah. You think so?
Yeah, and also think about it like what's his name? Portis, when he's starting, he grabs like 15 boards. So like, yeah, it might be a tougher time with Portis because Portis just fights for them more. Because Giannis can just grab them, but Portis will like box you out.
So, okay, so if Bam is not the guy that's going to pop, then like, is this a like Tyler Hero type of game because Damian Lillard is allergic to defense?
But Hero gave dude. It like this is really stressful because you're right. Probably Hero's the guy if he can be the guy tonight.
Mhm.
You know, he probably has the best matchup as far as who's guarding him tonight.
Yeah,
but can he do it?
I mean, he did it that first week of the Emirates Cup. He scored like an 85 or something like that, and won the tournament with people. Like, and I always look at guys like Hero, guys that could take advantage of a lazy, bad front court defense that the Bucks have. So, like, does Duncan Robinson have his first 10 3-point nights of the season? Like, but that's the type.
Don't forget about Kevin Love.
Yeah,
Kevin Love's lurking around.
I'm starting him in some random team. So yeah.
Yeah, I shoved him in a pretty prior lineup, and I don't feel great about it, Chief. but here's the thing. Let's add another wrinkle into it. Do you want Bam at 45, Tyler Hero at 40, or Jimmy Butler at 36? Because realistically, they can all kind of do it on any given night. But then are you willing to take the risk on Jimmy, who, as much as we love it sometimes, also has the shenanigan in him, and you get like 20. So it's like
in this scenario, yeah, I work backwards. So I don't say, do I want Bam, Tyler, or Jimmy? I say, who do I want? And then what am I left with? Am I left with 36 cap? Am I left with 40 or do I have more? And then if I really want Bam, let's say, or let's say I really want Jimmy, I try to apply his extra points now down to my lowest guy and work from that. But I need to start with what I feel comfortable with. And this is my process. And I don't feel comfortable with any of those guys. So now I have to work backwards from AD and like Wemby. And then I start putting the pieces together from there. Or actually, here's like the full process for me. Full process. Wemby and AD go in. Now I look for my lowest cap guy that I like. And he has to be 10, 12, something in that range. And then the two middles is really where I hyper focus matchup. And that's just how I do it.
Yep.
But
I love how we're all living the same life. It's like, yes, smash in the two highest guys you got. Who's the lowest cap I got? And then just sandwich whatever else I can in the middle and hope for the best.
Well, I mean,
but that's the
low
difference
cap.
maker, usually.
You need that
that's
low cap guy at 30 or 40, though, Jorge. Like, that's the thing here. Like, I have Josh Richardson or Kevin Love in my teams, but they have to minimally hit 30 for me to be competitive and win something. It doesn't matter if Giannis and Anthony Davis or LeBron smash. Like, you need everybody to have a pretty big game if you want to win the daily tournament. And this is where I'm really struggling with laying these things out, because it's very easy to lay an egg, like last week with like Lindy Waters Jr., which was just a horrible play.
The fact that you called him junior and not the third makes it even worse.
Yeah, well, you know what? His dad might be mad, but at least he got some props. Lindy.
So, we all fell for the Lindy Waters
we all
train.
got burned by Lindy. That dude's going to be in everybody's Hall of Fame.
Is SPJ a play this week or too high of a cap? SPJ, who's SPJ? Am I going crazy? Who's SPJ?
Something Porter Jr. There's a Porter Jr. Right
That's what I was thinking, right? Oh, Scottie Pippen Jr. There it is. Yeah,
so
dude.
I'm an SPJ owner. I've had him since the beginning of the year, and let me tell you, he just scores. And with Ja being out all this time, like, he doesn't give you enough all-around game that he's pretty much what his cap says is what he does. And it's kind of frustrating. And I still play him every week. So let that be what it is. I play him every week. He disappoints me every week.
No, I will say on that, now that Ja's healthy and a lot of other Memphis guys are healthy, and on top of the fact that Memphis has a lot of guys, I looked at their game from last night. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. But like Scottie Pippen Jr. only played like 15 minutes, which is not great, Chief, already. Because Scottie Pippen, when Ja's out, like he's in there, he's shooting.
32 minutes. 32 minutes and running.
Yeah, but once all the guys are back and then they're all out and healthy. Yeah, okay. Giannis is officially out.
Officially out.
Well,
all right, let's all
review things.
No, but I was looking at this.
Start editing.
Yeah, I literally had Giannis in my team. I had to switch him out for AD. If I can get this pulled up, I was looking at Memphis's game from last night. Like, everybody plays like a slew of minutes, and like nobody gets good minutes. So let me see if I can pull this up. So Sorare does kind of have a games page, but it only works for your game week, and you can't look behind it. I guess you probably could, but I'd have to find it. So if you look at Ja 24, Santi 23, 29, 26, 21, 22, 20, 15, 24, like everybody, nobody gets high minutes. Everybody just gets middle of the park minutes, and then just nobody does anything. And like Memphis right now, it's tough, especially on Sorare, because they're just rotating people in and out. People keep getting hurt. And on top of that, they just have so many guys that they're just kind of rotating them in and out depending on the game state, probably. And it's just a mess. It's just a mess. And
it's a mess.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
No, it is. Memphis is a high rotation team, is what I've come to really find out about them. And it's kind of frustrating from a fantasy perspective.
Yeah, everybody takes turns kind of filibustering while the rest of us edit our teams and go through there. This happened the last time. I had to freak out last minute, and then I did terribly because I was too busy having fun with y'all. But
building my contender teams for next weekend. I'm not even
dude, my lord. All right, Alex, you're the guy.
Bob's the only person that knows what happened, and I'm not going to say what happened because it's just going to get me mad. Bob does know what happened.
I do. It's not ideal.
Yeah.
Wait, what happened?
Next game is what do we got? Oh, Houston versus Minnesota. Okay, so this is where we could see some smash from the Minnesota guys. You know, Anthony Edwards, obviously, even though his his peaks haven't been the best. Gobert, double probably. Julius Randle, you guys were talking about too. All face a very interesting matchup. It's not the Houston of last year because they're 12-6. That's kind of unheard of. But they're at home, and they tend to do pretty well at home. So, yeah, they have it at 3.5 for Minnesota, 220 over under. Pretty basic stuff. But yeah, I mean, I think Minnesota gets this at home. I don't think any shenanigans from Jalen Green can stop Minnesota from winning this. What am I missing? I'm confused.
Too much stress, guys. Got to change everything now.
Oh, I got to keep talking. All right. Yeah. Do you guys?
I just love watching Bob's locked in mode. Just eyes are just buzzing everywhere.
I mean, I just sold a bunch of cards too. So I have some money in the wallet, and so got to make some changes, man. But after our talk, this is why this is a really good conversation. I would have put Brook Lopez in,
right,
knowing that Giannis was out, but knowing that there's a guy with a cap that is 6 lower that's going to come in and basically absorb every single rebound, can hit threes, can do the things that you need, can get the blocks. I'd much rather go with a Bobby Portis Jr. here and then see what I can do, because what I was really struggling with is that at the back end of my cap, I wasn't confident with my lowest tier players that they could get that 30 that you would need. So what this actually did is it actually freed up my ability to put Kevin Love in, and Kevin Love, no matter how old or dumb he is, can still get you a ton of rebounds, can still get you threes, can still hit you 35. And that's kind of what you're looking for from a 13 cap, right? I just definitely called Kevin Love dumb, and Kevin Love was one of my favorite double guys.
Dude, Kevin Love back in the day, man.
Dude, the T-Wolves version of that, the T-Wolves version of that guy was unbelievable fantasy.
He was so fantastic.
Yeah,
I remember having an argument with my cousin about he's one of the best players in the NBA right now. Good times.
Alex, Wemby or AD? Who's the play?
I can explain that with the next game that we're looking at, because it is Spurs Jazz. And my answer plays in that game. I'm going Wemby, personally. First of all, Jazz are not good at all. If you've watched the Jazz, you know it's Lauri Markkanen and some thoughts and prayers is about what they have.
Hey, Walker Kessler's back.
As I said, they lost Taylor Hendricks for the year. If you guys watched his injury, I wouldn't go back and look at it if you haven't watched it. But the Jazz, that's about as eventful as their season has gotten. Markkanen dropping 35 or whatever it was the other night. But yeah, they have San Antonio favored away from home. That kind of tells you. I think this is a Wemby night. And also the reason why I think he's better than AD for this week is also because don't play the safe bet when it comes to daily games. Sometimes, especially when it's all or nothing, you have to play on the ceiling. And with Wemby, he could have the second ever quadruple double at any moment in time, and you just have to hope that it happens with you. Differentiation with stats too, bunch of blocks, even get some steals in there, and can drop 50. And as good as AD's been, and as consistent as he's been, Wemby can score higher, and that's why I'm personally going Wemby. But what are you guys? I know it's one of the two, and I know you guys are all probably going to have one of the two in there. I know Zach has both. What are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Well, now I'm looking at trying to do both. Now I'm redoing everything, and now I want to see if I can shove them both in.
Alex, I mean, that's great points. In my common team, I am trying to jam Wemby and AD in.
So I'm trying
to jam both of them in. And I prefer, I'm the same kind of mindset as you. Wemby has the ability, and we've seen him hit 80, 85, and that's what it's going to take to win. Wemby has won other people this tournament before. AD is great, but I'm not expecting AD. His stat lines this year have been 35, 12 rebounds, 8 assists, and 42 blocks. He's been pretty consistent all around, which comes out to about a 65, which is fantastic. But again, we're talking about winning here too. And can your lower cap guys score enough to make it worth it? So basically your main question is, Wemby is my MVP. I'm using 54 points on AD. I'm using 15 on Kevin Love. So now we're 69 points out, right? Like, can I get a Lauri Markkanen for 34 and then somebody else for 35 that's going to score just as much, if not more, combined than those two? Like, that's what the actual math is, and that's where you got to figure that out. And I don't know who that 35 guy would be that would go in there.
Nope.
For Markkanen, right? Like, is it Bobby Portis at 28? So now you've opened up 7 more points. Like, these are the things that like I'm trying to figure out right now, and that's why you see my eyes going back and forth like mad trying to figure out, because my swap, like the swap that I just made with that news that Alex just shared, is I took Giannis out and I put LeBron in, because I still think old man River LeBron and the Lakers, they want to win this thing. They score well. He's going to get a triple-double. Like, this is just kind of what they do. And I always ask myself, if these guys are clicking, is a guy like Dalton Connect worth it? Like, is he the guy that's going to hit 9 threes? Because, again, he's a pure scorer like Pippen, except he's better at basketball in my eyes. So, and I don't have an extra Shea, because Bouncy was asking, like, is Shea an MVP tonight? And Shea is always an MVP.
Yeah.
Yes.
He has. It's been interesting to watch Shea lately. Shea is the best when he has Holmgren in the lineup, because what happens without Holmgren is that they are a lot more guard focused and guard centric. So guys are higher out and they're pressing up. They don't have to guard the middle as much. They don't have to. So they're able to actually shade out on him a little bit more. And his scores have been not nearly as good. And you can see that his cap has been dropping into like the mid 40s at this point. So I have stayed away from Shea as or SGA as my MVP lately. But I have, because his cap has gotten low enough, been able to jam him into a good team to go along with a secondary MVP type guy. And you hope that he can hit. Like, he needs to get 35 points, 6 threes, and a whole bunch of steals. Like, that's the kind of big game that SGA is going to get you.
Yeah. And I do want to add on that, like, kind of what you're saying is like not only Chet going out to, but J-Dub, Jalen Williams has been playing on another level this year, like all-star caliber level. And like, that's allowing Shea to not have to do everything, to take a back seat, to be able to distribute the ball and be like, hey, maybe I don't have to do anything. So it does. But again, going back to our conversation even earlier, when you target some of these teams and you build a collection of guys that even the guys coming off the bench could do well, or just these role players that on a given night, someone's out, they like put the ball in their hands and stuff like that. So it's like having that OKC collection. Right now, J-Dub is literally scoring better than SGA. He's performing better in Sorare NBA. So right now, you would probably run J-Dub in Prio. And then if it switches, if SGA gets hot and all of a sudden they start feeding him the ball because he's just on a heater, then you have them both already, and then you just swap them out, one for another, and then bada bing, bada boom, you're riding pretty all the way to the Western Conference Finals or something. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. OKC's fun.
And I got to say, Jalen Williams has won me a lot this year. Like, I am all about that train. It's when he gets under 30, Jorge, is when I like him more. I prefer Jalen Williams at a 35 cap play. There are certain guys that I just don't like playing at a cap play over 40, 41, 42. Like, in those guys, like, I just don't like that mid tier, because those guys that we're talking about there are the Devin Bookers. They are the Damian Lillards.
R.I.P. Franz.
That need a lot to go through, right? They need to score a ton of points to go there, because they're not doing as much on the other stats. So R.I.P. Franz. But Franz is still great. I mean, Franz scored like a 55 yesterday or something like that. And
fucking dropped a 70 the other night too.
Yeah, his cap is almost 49, 50. Like, Franz he's very quickly risen to one of those players that is now MVP level. But I'm not going to play him as my MVP card, right? Like, that is like more like, Bob, you should probably watch more Magic games, because he's actually playing at an MVP level more than SGA.
Literally.
Like, and that's the thing. Like, it's kind of tough because he doesn't have the name brand recognition that goes through there. I mean, I might play his big brother Mo instead at 21 cap, because he's great too. So, are they related?
Something funny that happened not too long ago. So it was the Lakers game. Whenever Franz hit that game winner, I was very hyped for that. But Basically, we were watching. It was me and a couple of friends. We were watching the game, and I was like, "Bro, watch Franz. Like he's elite." Because they watch NBA, but they don't like. It's late night, so sometimes they just go to bed before. I'm like, "Watch Franz," and he was like cooking. He almost had 40, right? It was something like that.
Yeah, or he did drop 40.
Yeah, it was. He was having a crazy game, and dude's like, "Bro, I bet on him," and I was like, "Yeah," and he like hit 40. And he's like, "Bro, no way, overhit easily." Goes to his phone, looks. He bet over on Mo Wagner, not Franz Wagner. He lost his bet by like a good margin.
No.
Yes.
Dude.
It was all hype.
That's rough. All right, we're running out of time here. All right, start showing me these builds. All right, if you're in the chat, if you're watching on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, all that stuff, drop those teams for tonight. Let's get through it. All right, Alex, the value pick player himself. What are we running tonight? What are we looking at? What did you craft up?
I didn't throw a value player in mine today. I just went straight up. Let me get 50 everything, and then let me get 90 from Wemby. Basically, is what I'm looking at. So yeah, this is what I ran through. Basically, just waiting on a confirmation that Jalen Green will be healthy. But yeah, Kuzma should get a nice bump from Poole. Jimmy Butler's been on a nice run. I think he should do well again. Lauri Markkanen, trust him. And Victor was my MVP, as I said earlier. Shout out Wemby. But yeah, so yeah, after that, and then it's kind of a little poverty away, whatever. We won't talk about it. If you know, you know. But yeah,
not Torrey Craig, man.
Yep.
Hearing the disappointment in Jorge's voice. Oh,
not the Torrey Craig. No, yeah, dude, Kuzma has that reputation, man. Kuzma has that poor reputation.
Really, we should have.
The what?
I said Zach was bigging him up earlier if he was listening. When he was Kuzma's.
And if you go to my lineup, you'll see him in there.
All right, Zach, what you got cooking for us?
All right, so we're going AD and Wemby. With the news, I just swapped in Portis, the Kuz,
and
Buzelis, because Buzelis, as we kind of spoke about earlier, not on stream, his minutes are going up, and he's starting to get a little more comfortable in what's going on in the NBA, and he's the kind of guy that could double his cap. So that's what I'm looking for from a 10-point guy. Cap double.
Coming in at a 10.
Kuz could be -3 or 55, 60. Wemby could be a 90. Portis.
Yep. Is he gone? Oh, did we lose him?
I'm not gonna lie, I did not realize that Portis was that low cap, so I'm gonna swap out Green for him because I had a little extra. So that's my full team is now put Portis.
Portis at 28.
Yep.
All right, let me just add one and see what this team is looking like.
Doing a little swapsy, just because. But I'm keeping Kuzma there just because he said that was a disgusting play. I'm doing that just because. So when I win, just.
Oh, building teams on the fly. Let's go.
Dude, building teams on the fly. All right, Bob. What do you got going on? Oh, is he back? He's back.
Yep. Yeah, I think my internet just dropped out.
Someone needs to check the internet in Florida, man. It's getting crazy over here.
So Thomas, real quick, I had Sar in, and then once the Giannis news came in, I pulled Sar back out, and I got Kuzma back in. So I had like a Sar Kuzma flip there with the Giannis news.
I had Koulibaly in one of my early builds. This opens up everything. Well, dang! Hold up! Well. All of a sudden, I have 49 cap points to play with.
There you go. Get it done.
Wow. All right, it still ain't looking great, Chief, because I'm just missing out on LeBron. So we got Bam, AD. I'm already playing Kevin Durant limited. I don't want to double dip.
Not on game one back. You never want to double dip on a game one back.
I'm trying to think. Who should I chuck in here? Who do you guys have faith in up here under 49?
Tyler Hero.
Yeah, are we playing the
Yeah,
top?
man. I mean,
Yeah, for the boom factor. Yeah.
Do I go AD for the save or Anthony Edwards for the save points? Do I just take the floor?
No, you
They
never
have,
take
they
the
have to
floor.
win this game.
safe,
You never take the floor.
but Jorge,
Take the floor, do it.
safe. Like you either, if you play for the safe points, you'll get a safe box, which will give you 5 safe credits to use on the market. Okay. If you go big, you could potentially get actual money instead of having to put more money in.
Whoa!
Right. So it's like,
All of a
the,
sudden,
you're
you
not-
win underdog and you become a credit hater.
All right, John Collins it is.
John Collins. Yes.
When in doubt, John Collins.
You know what I'm saying, though. You know what I'm saying, though.
Yes.
It's not worth winning if you can't win big. You need a guy that's going to hit 80. And
Okay, I will back this point up for Bob, though. I would take Edwards if I was playing more boom guys because you need somebody to be safe. AD or Edwards. You need like a safe guy who you can count on his points with the boom guys. You need somebody.
you've got 2 guys that can boom there. Like,
Bring
for me, how many points do you have left there? You have 82
49.
points left.
So I have 49
Of course.
points left.
You have 49 points left. Yeah. So, I mean, boom away. I mean, it's
That's what I'm saying. I
I
can
would.
win whoever I
I
want.
actually think I'd put Butler in. For me, I'd probably put Butler in. That's fine.
That's who I had
That's
in
like me.
originally. But I don't.
That's me.
see,
Feel
I
great
think
about
Devin Booker scores 72 tonight and scores 90 Sorare points.
Hero or Sengun? I don't mind the Sengun kind of play.
Me
No, they're
neither.
playing.
Who are they playing?
They're playing the Wolves though.
you know what you're doing.
Sengun and Rudy.
Yes, he's got Rudy duty.
Yeah.
All right, you know what you're about to do.
Yeah.
What?
You're doing card pack decides my team.
Oh no!
Use it.
Ruh-roh.
All right.
Pull
all right.
pull a hero special. Let's see.
So it has to
hero
be one of
special.
these 3 teams, like one of
Yeah.
these 3 players.
Yeah. Slow mo. Okay, doesn't play.
Oh,
Can't-
Anthony Edwards. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, rest in peace, Chet. Nice pull though.
Chat. Yeah, nice pull on the chat.
And
All right. Well, they're not playing. So far the Timberwolves. Oh, don't make me play
Yeah,
Anthony
yeah.
Edwards.
can't do that. Warriors. One more. So Ant is your pick right now. But
Ugh.
Oh, the Ant Man.
Of
Great
course,
real
of
player.
all
Great
the
real
one,
player,
this one that
terrible
we
fantasy
decided I
player.
don't want to play. Oh, Panini decides my lineups.
the Nets
Oh,
play.
the Nets. They're not. No, they're not
The-
playing.
And that's enough.
Yuck.
Not like I would play any anyway.
What? The,
Golden State doesn't play.
Jeez, we can't get lucky here.
Am I really gonna have to play Anthony Edwards?
Oh, hell
Kelly.
last
Screw
chance.
it. Here's the content, baby. Panini decides my Sorare lineups. That's it.
Win money.
Yo, if Edwards goes off though, if Edwards goes off today,
Okay, last
Man, I hope you win, Jorge, so this becomes a whole segment.
Boom.
Dude, we'll have to clip it. Allie's ripping packs.
Boom.
yeah,
Okay,
And-
then we're all gonna have to go out and buy retail and just buy
Oh,
a ton of
wait.
packs so we can rip them.
Oh, Max Christie. I already have AD in there over Wemby.
LeBron.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to have to like watch this back at like 0.5 speed so I can actually read who Alex pulled because I'm getting old.
Oh, it was. So this, I'll keep this one safe just in case. If you do something, it was slow mo.
Oh, Kyle Anderson.
good.
Yeah.
Kyle.
I
Hey,
mean,
Kyle.
you've got 2 boomers in there. Like there's,
I mean,
I don't hate this
Yeah.
lineup. I don't hate the lineup.
Portis makes me feel like I honestly feel better playing Portis with Giannis out than I do just Jimmy Butler straight up. And it's weird to say that, but like you just can't trust Jimmy these
No, I
days. Like
get
he can
it.
do it,
Yeah, I
but
get
like
it.
it's so hard to trust Jimmy Butler. Because like the thing is like a bad Jimmy game is a really bad game. It's not like, oh, Vooch had a bad game and he still hit 35. It's like, no, Jimmy has a bad game and you're getting like 12.
2
So,
points.
Jorge, like top scores for those guys, you could legitimately get an 80 from AD. And then the other 3 guys, Markkanen, Portis, and Edwards, could all pop you 60.
Right.
Right? Like, and so
What I'm
like
banking
right
on.
there, you're already at like 260. So you just need Buzelis to actually have the game.
Anything.
Double his cap.
You want to double your cap. Like you have to get up to that 30. Like you need to be in that 290 range. Like, and that's where like that team has the ability to do it. And I think that's what you're going to kind of like see outside. Like if you look at my teams, Jorge, like I don't know that my teams can get up high enough to do that. They don't have the Franz Wagner that blows up at a cap like 35.
Right. I mean, I don't know, man. Bob says he can't get there, and then wins a podium with 4 players. So, like, at this point, like, come on.
By the way, Alex, Jalen Green is good to play.
I took it.
Yeah.
I put boards, so it's fine.
Yeah.
You know what? It's fine. If he scores 60, week's already ruined anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. And I mean,
at this point, what can we do?
I'm obviously going a complete different route than like what you guys have been putting together. If you want to display, this is like my main limited team. Like my main limited team is where I'm kind of focusing my attention this week, and I'm actually running more along the Lakers and some other guys that are not going to pop as much, or I don't expect to be in other lineups. Is kind of how I'm looking at things right now.
Right. Oh, you have it? I have it pulled up? Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. So initially, Jorge, like the differences were LeBron was not in there and it was Giannis.
Right.
And Portis wasn't in there. It was Josh Giddey. And Love wasn't in there. It was Josh Richardson. So now I feel like I've definitely taken a big step back with LeBron. But you need a triple-double type game from LeBron to hit 55, 60. Portis, I think, has much higher potential than Giddey ever does. Just with to be able to start there, to grab the boards. I think Giddey's top end is going to be about 40. I think Portis can get 50, which makes a difference in this. And I think Kevin Love, again, if he gets the minutes, he gets the time, he's on a fine team, like they're going to be okay. Like he can actually pop as well. Like that's kind of how I'm hoping around this team. And I'm hoping Koulibaly just does what he does. He has one of those big defensive kind of games that rounds out the entire stat sheet, because at the end of the day, like when Franz pops off, he's having a great game, but he's getting blocks, he's getting steals. Like that's what we're really seeing from a lot of these guys, that, you know, when like 60 seems to be like a pretty like good, like scoring, like assists, rebounds, points kind of cap for like the best players. They're going to get around 60. It's when they start adding the defensive stats and not turning the ball over is when you really start blowing up.
Cade. Looking at you, Cade.
Yeah. I mean, Cade is the ultimate all-star for like the turnovers daily. So
yeah, dude put up 118 for me. Unbelievable.
Just imagine his Sorare scores if he didn't turn the ball over. It's insane. Wow. Cade Cunningham would literally break the Sorare matrix, but he just needs to turn it over like 6-7 times a night. But
so yeah. That's my look, Jorge. We'll see what happens. Who knows?
Yeah. I completely forgot about my limited lineup. I went to go look and I was like, oh no. I was like, I need to make sure that everyone's still playing. Yeah, I got Giddey, LeBron, Jimmy, Buzelis, and then KD in there on his comeback game because, you know, we need that in season. And yeah, it was a half DJ and Buzelis,
real
half
quick,
a.
I want to go back to that that game day where the turnovers. Look at the score I put up here, 404. Because I had this duo of turnover machines. But look at Isaiah Collier coming in with a huge score. It was only connected, ended up letting me down. But I top 6%, which is a weird percentage, and I'm glad they're going away from that crap. Because what the hell is top 6%?
Yeah, like just tell me what place I'm in, man. I don't care what top 6% is. Let me know how many people I still need to beat before I end up on that podium. And then,
But that was a fun game week, and I hope they do stuff like that. I hope they do more stuff like
still
that.
Playing? What time is it? Like the turnovers and stuff?
Yeah, stuff like that.
Do you guys like those weird, funky kind of nights? Because like sometimes I look at them and I'm just like, I'm not even gonna bother. Sometimes it's like too crazy, too out there. Where I'm like, I'm not gonna delete and swap and then look at who does what.
I don't swap. I don't swap on those nights.
For it.
I just play what I have, but it's better than last night, which is 120, which was contender.
Ugh.
You know, last night was just contender. Oh, big deal. We get to play that every week.
It was kind of fun.
Yeah.
It was kind of fun building out a contender lineup from scratch with like every card available on the night. Like I kind of had fun dumping everything and then just like
Okay,
going through, like we were
yeah.
saying, like, all right, who's the stud for tonight? All right, who's like the value play low cap guy? And then kind of building it out from like scratch. And like that was a little fun. I'm not gonna lie, building out a contender lineup was pretty fun.
Okay, I'll give you that. It's just like, it's just something you can kind of do week in and week out. So I'd much rather have like, NBA Jam where threes count for 9 and stuff like that.
Who needs to silence their said cell phone? Because I'd be ringing to my ears, boy. Dear Lord, I might hear that on my sleep tonight. Yeesh.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, do it.
It was. I didn't mind it, Jorge, at the common level. Like my limited teams sucked, but it was just kind of cool to see like what they had. I think I scored 170 points, and if I scored that many in contender this week, and any other team will be really excited.
True.
So yeah,
True.
On that note, it is 7:00 for me, and I need to go take care of some real life business. Everyone,
Yep.
we're a couple minutes
Yeah.
from time to lock these cap teams in. So good luck, everyone. Have a good one, all.
Dude,
Yeah, man.
Bob,
Happy
thanks so
holidays,
much.
and we'll come back next week.
That's right. Dude, see, you guys did the outro for me. I didn't even have to do it. I was about to shut the party down. You ain't got to go home, but you can't stay here. We love it, dude. Shout out
Thanks,
to
guys.
everybody who's watching the show. What?
Thanks, guys.
It's at 6. Now we can show the real lineups. Now we don't have to. Now we don't.
Yeah. Now we can actually hit the value plays. But yo, shout out to everybody who's hanging out in the chat. Shout out to everybody who's watching on X, Twitch, YouTube, all that fun stuff. Good night, Mike Baston. Good luck this weekend. Hope you guys win some cash for the NBA Emirates Cup. And look forward to the weekend. DJ to some buys and keep on keeping on and being awesome. We'll see you probably tomorrow for an MLS playoff recap show, baby. Let's